All my baking gear is now arranged and organized, finally. And while cleaning all of it, I stumbled upon my baking books from college. Going through that gave me so much joy and refreshed my memories, taking me back to basics. Talking about basics, that is when I realized I have never shared how to shape a bread dough with you all. So today in this video, let us make some Hala bread rolls, the eggless version. Oh yes, let's try an eggless version of a classic enriched dough. For that, let us begin by making roux. I agree this is an additional step, but this would make our dough incredibly soft, especially in this case where we are not adding any eggs to our dough. To a saucepan, add 4 tablespoons from the weighed out flour and all of the measured out water. Cook until the starch gelatinizes. In simple terms, you get a roux which is nothing but a thickened paste. The technique is same as our Hokkaido bread, milk bread, the Japanese milk bread. You can watch that video to understand the science behind this technique if you are interested. Make sure that you are first dissolving the flour in the water, then switch on the flame and cook until everything thickens. So once thickened, switch off the flame and whisking continuously, add the cold milk. This is a very simple trick to reduce the temperature of the roux. Obviously, you cannot combine the roux with the rest of the ingredients when it is so hot, as it would kill the yeast, right? So that is why we add cold milk to reduce the temperature. Meanwhile, in a mixing bowl, let us combine the dry ingredients starting with salt, flour, milk powder, yeast and sugar. Mix them and create a well in the center. Add the yogurt. Yes, now this is the substitute for eggs. If you consume eggs, you can definitely use 2 eggs here in place of yogurt. And finally, dump the roux into it. Just make sure that it is warm to touch, lukewarm, and not hot, as that would kill your yeast and your entire experience of making the bread would be ruined. Then combine this into a shaggy mass of dough. Eventually you will have to use your hands to do the job, so make sure that it is clean. Then oil your workspace a bit and transfer the dough and start kneading. Oiling as opposed to dusting the workspace with flour would ensure that your dough doesn't dry out, because there are chances that you might accidentally add up too much flour and that would make your dough to dry. This method has been explained in brief in our 100% semolina bread recipe, which you can watch after this video if you like. I will link it up here and also in the description box below. And by the way, just looking at the dough, you would feel that it is highly impossible to knead this dough, but trust the process and you will be surprised to see how the dough comes together. Being an enriched dough, it does take a little longer than your regular bread dough, but stay there, it will turn into a soft, pliable and bouncy dough. Having a stand mixer would be a boon here. I have explained the steps of kneading the dough in a stand mixer on our blog spicesandflavors.com. The link is in the description box below. So after kneading about 5 minutes, this is how our dough looks. Still so much sticky and messy, but keep kneading. If you find it difficult to knead the dough, you can also do the slap and fold technique as seen in the video. Finally, after 10 minutes of kneading, the dough looks little bit put together. We are still not there yet, but this is the time to add in the fat. So let us add a little butter at a time and incorporate it well. Again, note that Hala bread is essentially made using vegetable oil as the fat source, but since we are not using eggs here, I have used butter to make the dough more enriched. Please feel free to use equal amounts of oil if you prefer the classic version or if you are using eggs in your recipe. Once you add the butter, you will find that it becomes relatively easier to knead the dough. So do the stretch, roll over, rotate step as seen in the video. So you push the dough away from you, bring it back to the center, rotate the dough and repeat the steps. Knead for another 10 minutes. The good sign is that when you try to lift the dough, it should still be sticking to your worktop, showing some resistance. Now let us grease our hands a little and put the dough for proofing. Even while kneading the dough, if you find it highly impossible to knead, then you can always grease your hands a little and keep kneading. That's a little insider's tip there. Also in between, if you feel tired, cover the dough and continue kneading after 5 minutes. It is okay. So time for first proofing. For that, let us grease a bowl with little oil. Place the well kneaded dough into it. Grease the dough as well with little oil so that again it doesn't dry out. Cling wrap, cover with a towel and allow for first proofing, which is 1.5 hours. Look at that dough, isn't it so well risen? And that now it's time for my favorite part, which is punching it down. Tishum! So punch down the dough to release the gases. Here you can eyeball and divide the dough into 12 portions, or you can follow my preferred way of dividing, which is to scale them. So each dough weighs around 80 to 82 grams. Whether eyeballing or dividing, the only thing to note is to keep the dough covered at all times. Again, all these steps ensures that your dough remains moist. Once divided, take the ball that you weighed out first, roll it into a log of around 15 centimeters. That is because the gluten has the tendency to shrink back the more you roll. So the trick here is to roll it to a defined measurement, then let it rest for a minute or so and roll again. So first roll all the balls into a log and then take them and re-roll them to 30 centimeters. I believe it is easier to watch and understand the steps about how to shape the challah rolls. Once it is all shaped, it is now time for second proofing. Cover the dough with a tea towel. We have 2 batches proofing here as you can see, and we will allow them to proof for around 40 minutes to an hour. Sometimes it may take even longer, so it all depends upon the climatic conditions at your place, how hot or cold your room temperature is, or how hot or cold the dough was to begin with, and many other factors. So what you are looking for is that the dough should have risen well, almost doubled in size, and should look so soft and bouncy, just like how you can see it here. So once proofed, take the batch that you had shaped first, then brush the top with milk gently so that you do not deflate the nicely risen dough. Sprinkle with sesame seeds on top, and now let us bake them in a preheated oven of 180 degrees Celsius for around 25 minutes. Look at those beautiful buns. These rolls are defined by their characteristic yellow coloration and slightly darkened top, all thanks to the enriched ingredients. The crust would be nice and soft and bouncy. The interior of the dough would be soft, white, and a well-defined structure because of the roux that we made. In all, it is a very soft, chewy, and slightly sweet rolls with an amazing structure, perfect for sides or to have it on its own with some butter or jam, or even as a toasted bread to dip it into your tomato soup or any soup for that matter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if the tips shared in this one was useful, then hit that like button, consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you soon with yet another recipe. Until then, this is Sushma signing off. Take care. Bye bye.